I am going to show you how to apply your stencil that you cut out onto your plate. The first thing that you need to do is wipe your plate down with a wet sponge. Take a wet sponge. So now that we've wiped it down, we can start to apply our stencil. So you're going to take the backing off of it, peel the two layers apart, and you're going to line it up in the middle. And I'm going to use my finger to go over all of the edges to make sure that they are really stuck down, because if they're not and I paint over it, it's gonna seep underneath of the stencil and my lines aren't gonna be nice and crisp. It's really important that you're making sure that all of it is super laid down. There are ways to fix it if the lines aren't super crisp, but it's just much easier to do it at this stage to make sure that everything is laid down rather than trying to fix it later. All right, so for mine, I'm using red and black glaze, and wherever my stencil is down is going to be the color of the plate. It's going to be white. Now we still want to glaze this, so we're going to glaze over this clear. Whenever we peel our stencil off and we can see what's left of the plate, we're going to glaze over that clear. But the only issue is that if you're using any kind of black glaze, so if you're using the black glaze that's on our shelf, the clear glaze mixes with it and it makes the black turn green for some reason. I don't know why. It doesn't affect any of the other glazes, so you're more than welcome to use any of the other glazes. But if you are using black for yours, you have to use black underglaze. It's a different kind of glaze, and it's gonna be on the back table back here for you. Make sure you're only using the underglaze if you're using black. Don't use the regular black glaze that we have on our shelf, or it's gonna come out looking green after you put the clear over it. Underglaze is a little different because this is not sticky. So our normal glazes are sticky after they've been, like once they're in the kiln, if they're touching anything, but underglaze comes out matte and it's not sticky. That is why we need to put clear over it once we're done to make it glossy. So whenever you use the black, make sure you're using underglaze, and then make sure that you're going over it with our clear later after the black dries. Still need 3 coats. The only issue with that is that my clear glaze is still not here because the district didn't order it. So I have to put in another order. So it's gonna be a couple weeks until it gets here. So you're just gonna have to wait. If yours has black on it at all, just have to wait until that clear glaze comes in. Okay, so I'm gonna take the black underglaze and I'm going to paint inside wherever I want the black to go on my stencil. Now you'll still need 3 coats of whatever glaze that you're using. So I'm gonna let this dry. I'm gonna move on to my red. All right, I'm gonna let that layer dry, and then I'm gonna come back and apply 2 more layers to the black and 2 more layers to the red, letting each layer dry in between. And then the only color that you'll need the clear for is when you peel this off, you're gonna apply the clear over this entire section because we need to cover it over our black and we need it to be over those open exposed areas, which is what's behind the stencil. But I'll explain that more once we actually peel them off. But what you're just focusing on right now is just putting your stencil piece on and then glazing over top of it.